Some people move through the world quietly, but nothing gets past them. They don't shout. They don't react. They don't fight for validation. And because of that, they're almost impossible to manipulate. Psychology calls this emotional independence, the ability to stay grounded, even when someone tries to pull you into their chaos. In this video, we'll break down 7 silent behaviors that make certain people extremely hard to control, fool, or emotionally influence. These aren't loud behaviors. They aren't dramatic, they're subtle, but they change everything. Let's start with the first one. One, they observe before they respond. Emotionally strong people rarely react on impulse. Instead, they switch into observation mode almost instantly. They study the situation the way a scientist studies data, slowly, carefully, and without emotional distortion. They pay attention to micro-expressions, shifts in posture, changes in tone, and even the words people choose or avoid. This level of awareness lets them detect tension, dishonesty, or manipulation long before it becomes obvious. Psychology calls this cognitive empathy, not the emotional kind, but the analytical kind. While most people speak to fill the silence, these individuals use silence as a tool to read the room. They understand that reactions reveal information, and manipulators love information, so they reveal very little. They speak only after they understand, and that alone shuts down half of all manipulation attempts. Before they even begin to, they don't over-explain themselves. Emotionally secure people choose their words carefully, and they don't repeat them out of anxiety. They've learned that chasing someone's understanding often leads to confusion, not clarity. When they express something once they trust it, they don't rewrite their thoughts just to make someone feel more comfortable, and they don't shrink themselves to avoid conflict. This confidence comes from a strong internal reference point. They know who they are and what they mean, even if others pretend not to understand. Over-explaining is often a trauma response, a sign you've had to defend yourself too many times. But emotionally grounded people break that pattern. They don't give manipulators extra details, emotional openings, or weaknesses to exploit. Their boundaries speak louder than their explanations. 3, they regulate before reacting. Most manipulation strategies rely on one thing: getting you to respond emotionally before you think logically. But emotionally strong people have trained themselves to pause. Even a 2-second pause creates a psychological barrier between stimulus and response. They use techniques like deep breathing, internal labeling of emotions. I feel irritated, not attacked. Grounding their awareness in the present moment, observing the intention behind the words. This is emotional regulation in action, the ability to steer your feelings instead of being controlled by them. And here's the key: when you don't give someone the reaction they're fishing for, their strategy collapses, the drama fades, the power dynamic resets. Their calmness is not silence, it's clarity, and clarity is impossible to manipulate. For they don't chase people, they choose them. Chasing someone is an emotional investment. And emotional investment is exactly what manipulators look for. But emotionally strong people understand that healthy relationships don't require pursuit. They don't try to force connections, fix people, or convince others to stay. This mindset comes from secure attachment, a psychological pattern where your sense of worth isn't tied to someone's presence or absence. If someone pulls away, they don't panic. They evaluate. They look at the consistency of the relationship, the respect shown, and the emotional tone of the connection. And if the energy isn't mutual, they step back without anger, without resentment, and without dramatic words. Their peace is more valuable than someone's inconsistent attention. When you no longer chase, you no longer give others power over your emotions. 5, they trust patterns, not promises. People can say anything, but their habits always tell the truth. Emotionally aware individuals judge trustworthiness through patterns, especially long-term patterns. They observe how someone behaves when they're stressed, embarrassed, corrected, or told no. They also understand the psychological concepts of intermittent reinforcement. When someone behaves badly, apologizes intensely, then repeats the same behavior. This creates emotional confusion and dependency. But emotionally strong people don't fall for that. They compare the promise to the pattern and choose the pattern every time. If the apology is loud but the behavior stays the same, they treat it as information, not transformation. You cannot manipulate someone who makes decisions based on evidence. Instead of emotion. 6, they protect their energy without guilt. Emotionally strong people treat their mental energy the way athletes treat physical energy, with intention and awareness. They understand when a conversation is draining, when a relationship feels one-sided, or when a situation is slowly wearing them down. And they respond early, not after damage has been done. They walk away from people who consistently bring chaos. conflict, or confusion. They know the difference between helping someone and being emotionally used by someone. This isn't selfishness, this is emotional hygiene, maintaining a clean environment for your mind. A simple rule guides them: if it costs me my peace, it's too expensive. And because they can walk away, manipulators lose their strongest leverage. 7. They use silence for clarity, not control. Silence is one of the most misunderstood behaviors of emotionally strong people. It's not avoidance, it's not a power play. It's a diagnostic tool. When they stop responding, they watch who respects the pause, who becomes defensive, who turns aggressive, who reveals their true intentions. Silence removes emotional noise. It creates distance, and distance exposes patterns. It lets them analyze the relationship without pressure, manipulation, or emotional fog. It helps them see loyalty, respect, motive, and emotional maturity with perfect clarity. And because silence doesn't feed someone's need for attention or control, manipulation loses oxygen. Their silence is not about control. It's about understanding. True strength doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from not letting others control you. When you understand your emotions, your patterns, and your boundaries, your reactions are no longer weapons someone can use against you. These silent behaviors are not about being cold. They're about being conscious, calm, and aware, and anyone can learn them. If you found this helpful, and you enjoy psychology explained in a simple and meaningful way, feel free to subscribe for more videos like this.